ain't no way to explain or say how painful the hangover was today. In front of the toilet, hands and knees, trying to breathe in between the dry heaves. My baby made me some coffee, afraid that if I drink some, it's probably coming right back out me. Couple of Advil, relax and chill at a standstill with how bad I feel. I think I need to smell fresh air, so I stepped out the back door and fell down the stairs. The sunlight hit me dead in the eye, like it's mad that I gave half the day to last night. My bad sight made me trip on my ass right into that patch of grass, like that's life. All of a sudden, I realized something. The weather is amazing, even the birds are bumping. Stood up and took a look and a breath, and there's that bike that I forgot that I possessed. Never really seen exercise as friendly, but I think something's telling me to ride that 10-speed. The brakes are broken, that's alright. The tires got air and the chain seems tight. Hopped on, it felt the summertime. It reminds me of one of them Moosab lines, like sunshine, sunshine, it's fine. I feel it in my skin, warming up my mind. Sometimes you gotta give in to win. I love the days when it shines. Whoa, let it shine. Sunshine, sunshine, it's fine. I feel it in my skin, warming up my mind. Sometimes you gotta give in to win. I love the days when it shines. Whoa, let it shine.
Whoa, let it shine.
Whoa, let it shine.
Whoa, let it shine.
Whoa, let it. If I could, I would keep this feeling in a plastic jar. Bust it out whenever someone's acting hard. Settle down, barbecue in the backyard. The kids get treats and old folks get classic cars. Every day that gets to pass is a success, and every woman looks better in a sundress. The sun shines an excuse to shoot hoops, get juice, show and prove them moves and let loose. I hear voices, I see smiles to match them. Good times, and you can feel it in the fashion. Even though the heat cooks up the action, the streets still got butterflies, enough kids to catch them. Riding my bike around these lakes, man, feeling like I finally figured out my escape plan. Take it all in, the day started off all wrong, but somehow now that hangover is all gone. Ain't nothing like the sound of the leaves when the breeze penetrates these southside trees. Leaning up against one, watching the vibe, forgetting all about the stress, thanking God I'm alive. It's so simple, I had to keep the song simple. And when I get home, I'm gonna open all the windows, feeling alright. Stopped at a stop sign, a car pulled up, bumping Fresh Prince of Summertime. Summer, summer sign. I feel it in my skin, warming up my mind. Sometimes you gotta give in to win. I love the days when it shines. Whoa, let it shine. Sunshine, sunshine, it's fine. I feel it in my skin, warming up my mind. Sometimes you gotta give in to win. I love the days when it shines. Whoa, let it shine.
Whoa, let it shine.
Whoa, let it shine.
Whoa, let it shine.
Whoa, let it.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Where everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. There was one? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Wake up! And a happy Wednesday to you all. Welcome to the IRONWORX. Streaming live on the ironrealmmedia YouTube and Rumble channels. Morning, fellas. Feels like all is right with the world again.
Good morning. Howdy. How are you all?
I'm all right. Wasted a bunch of time trying to get teams set up.
And then it wouldn't do nothing.
It wouldn't do nothing. Said couldn't complete the call with the current license, and I needed to contact the IT department. That was my response too. So fuck, you're talking to the IT department. And it said we couldn't complete a call with more than 20 people, so I started kicking out people out of the call. Just booting people. Basically, anybody without a name.
I did see that big list. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was me trying to whittle it down. 65 down to 20. I didn't make it. I said, fuck, I can't get rid of all these people. Guess I'll have to figure something else out. Call my IT department, I guess.
Call them up, bro. Son, have you tried to turn it off and on again, son?
So what you been doing, Walter? Besides
Well, sleeping, sweating, yeah, all of those fun things. My goodness, guys, it's gotten to the point now where it's like, is this going to ever stop being this way? Actually, technically, it wasn't BMG this time. It wasn't myasthenia gravis that took me out. It was Cleo. So I don't know if you guys remember that my cats were all individually getting sick one by one, even though that was allergies, gummy eyes and sneezing and panting and not eating and lethargic and not getting in my lap like they're supposed to and not sleeping where they usually are, all these things, to the point that after the 3 outside cats had gone through it and I had been doctoring their eyes, it started inside. And when Bender got to the point that he was lethargic and not feeling good, and then suddenly disappeared one day, I'm like, no, we're not going to have another spot. We're going to go take him to the vet. Despite that huge expense, so I took off to the vet and him having the allergies and all that. Okay. Still never thought it was allergies, because allergies would be consistent, I would think, across the board, would have started all at once. It just didn't feel that way to me, especially with the heat of their body and all this. So Cleo and Mama were the last two to get sick, and the last two to be really, like, they were the worst of all the cats, just laying there and not getting up and not, you know, the eyes and the sneezing and everything. So Tuesday night, getting ready to go to bed for the show last Wednesday, and when I sat down on the chair, my rocker, my recliner, Cleo was on the back up to, like, you know, up on the back. So I carefully sat down so I didn't throw her off and disturb her and let her rest. And didn't feel like she even woke up when I moved. So I'm sitting there doing my thing, and suddenly I feel the chair move, and she, like, rapid fire sneezes 4 or 5 times back to back and soaks me, like covers me with it. And it's like, and of course, I'd already been doing research by that point on cat diseases, cat flu, cat whatever, to see if there was something that would be passable back to me or Michelle, and had not found much. Rare, super rare instances of this and that, nothing really consistent. But in spite of that, with my paranoia, I got up and cleaned all that off the best I could, debated on the shower, but it's like, you know, at this point, what's done is done, I guess. So I figured I'd hop up at 3 and take a quick shower for the show. So I got up. When my clock, well, before I lay down even, my sinuses were already aching, and when my clock went off, I had been laying there just doing nothing already but shivering and sweating and shivering and sweating. It was like, just like what I went through a month ago with my medication reactions. And I couldn't, you know, like, there's really no way this cat got me sick in like about 4 or 5 hours. You know, there's just no way. It just had to have been building in my body with the whole cat crew being sick and me trying to figure it out. But her final blow was the death blow. Anyway, as you know, I texted you guys Wednesday, barely able to text, going, my goodness, this is bad. I don't know what's up. And I didn't. I spent all day Wednesday literally in the bed, not getting up except to go to the restroom. Jill had to go to work, so I'm there by myself, plenty of water and tissues, Food's the last thing on my mind. Splitting headache. The worst flu, I guess, that I've ever had. And I shiver all day and I shiver all night. She comes home Wednesday, and then by Thursday morning, I'm to the point where it's like, no, this is nothing. This is beyond the norm. I've got to figure this one out because I can't keep doing this. My head wouldn't stop no matter what I took. Just the worst illness I ever felt. Called the doctor. Now, for me to call the doctor with something that's, flu or cold or whatever, that's not ever going to happen. But it did. I called my doctor Thursday afternoon saying, please get me in there today if you can. They couldn't. They'd get me in Friday morning. Early as they could. So Friday morning, I headed up there. And as I told the story to and by Thursday night, Michelle already was going, I know I'm not feeling. What did I do?
Don't mind me. That was me.
Oh, I thought I hit something. So yeah, by Thursday night, she was going, I know my voice isn't getting hoarse. I don't have sore sinuses. I'm like, oh, man, don't tell me. If you go down, what's going to happen? Because, I was debilitated. I couldn't do the cat. I couldn't do anything with the cats, feed them, litter box, dishes, piling up. It just wasn't happening. She did everything she could because I guess she knew how bad it was going to be. She finished up the dishes Thursday night and fed the cats. And when she went to bed, she said, I'm not sick, I know, but I'm dreading the morning. And sure enough, she woke up with it Friday. Just like I did, shivering, shaking, please bring me something. Called her work in, So I got my doctor, kind of tell the story to the nurse. And when he comes to the door, he's got his chart up in front of his face. I'm like, yeah, dude, I already told her she should have a hazmat suit on. And he said, you were the third person I've seen over the last 2 days that had sick cats that has this, and it is super contagious, and that's why I'm gonna stay over here, and I'm not gonna come listen to your lungs, and I'm not gonna come check your ears and all the normal stuff. I say, right, again, burn your hands when I leave because you can't wash this off. So he said, yeah, there are two things that humans and cats can 100% pass back and forth. There's never, it's not a common thing, it's not a normal thing, but usually when it hits a cat community, it does just like this. It goes through every cat within the reach, and inevitably at least one of the owners of those pets will then wind up sick, and some in the hospital. And it's just like the flu in that it gets every system in your body goes nuts and tries to compensate and figure out what the hell and attack. And so add to that the fact that I'm immunocompromised due to the myasthenia gravis I'm already dealing with. So that made it even worse. Anyway, so he was like, yeah, I know you, because he already knows me pretty well by now. He said, I know you don't like antibiotics, but I would definitely take something to kick this out of you, or you're going to be miserable for at least a week. And I'd even take some steroids. I know those are limited with what you can take and all that. So he started looking stuff up, and I started taking that stuff on Friday, and spent most of the weekend doing the same thing, in the bed, freezing, chilling, hot, sweating, waking up in full sweat. Just the worst. So maybe miss all the shows and other things. Like there were other things that were going to be going on. There was Festival International in Lafayette this last weekend. That wound up getting flooded out. They had a bad storm and flooded the streets of Lafayette so bad there were businesses that literally had to shut down operation during one of the most, money-making opportunity weekends there is there in Lafayette for this big Festival International that takes place through, I think it starts usually on a late Wednesday night with some kind of introduction festival type, whatever thing, and then it kicks off and goes through the Sunday. And it was pretty much a bust. Anyway, yeah, it's been rough, and I missed you guys, and you can't even imagine how tired I am of coming over here and whining about how sick I am. But I am on the upswing. I'm so much better. Michelle's still in bed with it, like she had to go to work yesterday for a couple of hours. And warned them all, yeah, go home, burn your face off, because this stuff's bad. And so far, nobody else that we know that we've given it to, But definitely, it all started with the neighbor's cat, if you remember, right after the spaying and neutering adventure we had last month. So But we've all had it, and he says once you've had it, you can't really get it again for at least kind of like you've inoculated yourself. You can't get it again for at least 10 or 15 years. Well, good Lord, I don't want this ever again. Literally the worst I've ever felt in my life. But I'm back, and that's what matters. And I was definitely missing y'all. I even kind of semi-looked at things on was that Monday's show early, because I was getting up to liquidate myself and just to see who was on, and I saw Rico in the chat, and that was good to see. I've been missing Rico, good, worried about him and stuff, so that was good to see. And I see y'all are here, but the other part of this is it's gotten my symptoms and my dealing with those symptoms off so bad, I haven't been able to get my eyes to uncross in about 2 days now. So I'm not going to play with my medication amounts right now, my dosages, because I don't want to mess myself up again that way like I did last time. So I'm just kind of riding this one out and hoping once I get through with this illness that I will be able to see straight again. But as of right now, me typing and actually even reading the chat is a futility exercise. I was going to say hey to everybody individually and realized I couldn't even read them, let alone spell them. So I love you guys, and I'm so glad y'all are there. All right, I'm done rambling. It's good to be back.
Well, we sure missed the hell out of you.
Yeah, we did.
And I definitely felt the love and the healing energy. It was, yeah, it definitely helped get me through.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, it's always great to hear your voice and what you're going through. Hey.
Andrew. Good to hear you and see you. I'm not actually seeing you, but I see your picture. That's good enough.
The what?
I was saying it's good to see you, and then I realized, no, that's just picture I'm seeing pop up there. So
that's my real picture.
No, you know what I mean. You know I don't care. But
everyone keeps calling me an agent because I had sunglasses on the beach.
Yeah.
Like, all right,
you're our favorite handler, Andrew. What are you talking about?
So here's something interesting. If I may, I'm going to share my screen. Just one moment. Okay. This is like some space lettuce kind of stuff.
I like lettuce. Especially when it's got a little space on it.
I think this is it. Yep, there it is. Okay. So again, space.com for me is sort of like going to Comedy Central. If you're just looking for... It's kind of the same thing. But this gets really weird. So the caption is, I didn't look too good because I didn't feel too good. And then it goes on, NASA astronaut Don Pettit explains why he seemed so unwell after landing. And if you scroll through the rest of it, you don't need to read the rest of it, but you can just basically zoom in. This looks like a fucking corpse or something. And it looks like there's a bunch of people that are carrying him out on what looks like a lawn chair or like a patio table chair.
I thought that was just like the rigor for the landing zone was the little 60s folding chairs with the straps of plastic, that whole 9 yards. That's what they're always sitting around in, I thought they probably had a big budget on them when they were trying to build the moon buggy back in the 60s, so they just kept using them for these landing zones.
Well, I'm just showing that. How old is Don Pettit now? I think he's probably at least in his 60s, right?
I think he's technically 70 recently is what I remember, and I thought, wow, that dude's a lot older than he looks on someone I know's butox.
By the way, I am not a video expert in regards to anything, but when I see something, he's 70 years old. Holy shit. Okay. All right, so William Shatner, which is like 95 now or something. Like, yeah, come on, guys. It's just, at what point are people just going to be like, all right, okay, you conned us, and give me my fucking money back?
Well, aren't there like lawsuits happening right now over the whole like Katy Perry and them bullshit thing?
I saw that. I wasn't sure how legit that was. It just seemed something not quite right.
Oh, well, it just seemed interesting, and I dropped it. I hadn't really read through it.
I hadn't either. I just saw
I
the
know
headline.
she's doing her best to stop
The
South Park.
fact that it's even a story out there in the public eye of like, yeah, we were faking this, and she fucked it up, and now we're going to sue her, was nuts to me. That story is even out there, whether AI wrote it and dropped it, or some flat earther has snuck their way into some online news source or what, but it was just too crazy of a story that's even out there that, yeah, them saying, yeah, we were trying to fake this promotional video and she fucked it up by opening the door. That was just like, really? Okay, cool.
Did you guys hear about the power outage in Spain and Portugal?
And partially in France. Yeah.
Some kind of atmospheric compression, conversion, some kind of chicken noise.
No, that's not what happened. I'll guarantee that. I'm an electrician. I've worked at power plants. That kind of thing doesn't happen.
I know that's what they're trying to say, though. Now they're saying that none of the nuclear reactors were turned on at the time. So everything was just being run off green energy, and it overloaded the system. They were saying the temperature went up like 5 or 6 degrees in a spike. Like, that's just midday. What are you talking about? 5 degrees? That's midday. Like, it's cooler in the morning, then it gets warmer, and then it cools off again. Yeah, Cami was following it, like, intensely there. But, yeah, there's like 3 or 4 different excuses for why it happened.
Induced atmospheric vibration.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did it cause these blackouts? Is the story I found, but apparently didn't drop. I thought I had dropped one of them because it was too funny.
Well, who gets the information? If that happens, there's going to be a whole bunch of journalists and reporters and military personnel getting involved in it. But what actually happened? The news told us the truth. And that's where everyone just draws the line in the sand. Like, oh, you can't go outside of that because it makes more sense because of my cognitive dissonance aspect of reality. But sure, yeah, it was. It was definitely 34,000 tornadoes that took out the power grid temporarily. I'm being extremely facetious, by the way.
Yeah, they said something about last week that, you know, the Earth charge isn't exactly the same all across the Earth. It fluctuates a little bit. Well, our charge had shot up like a week before this happened here in the southeast U.S. Allegedly. I wasn't measuring or anything like that, but yeah, they said the ground charge was like spiking. I don't know.
When it comes to lightning, I've heard a lot of people say that lightning comes from the bottom up, but when you observe it in slow motion cameras, you can tell it doesn't do that, like 99% of the time. So you can see upside down lightning, meaning it starts from a ground base somewhere, usually a building that has a strong potential charge in the soil, and then you can see it go up. It's a rare phenomenon that does happen. So when anyone tells me that, I'm like, okay, here's the evidence. Take it. And lots of people have done this. They're completely unbiased. And how does that happen?
You know, you wouldn't even see a single bolt of lightning When you see it, actually traveled from the ground to the cloud back and forth about 6 times.
That's what they say. Yeah, according to...
Our eyes can't register it. It's so fast.
Right, and cameras can, fortunately, do that. Very expensive slow motion cameras can do that.
I saw this one guy did a super slow-mo thing, and it looked like lightning strikes were happening all around him during the middle of like a sunny day. It was weird. I've never seen anything like it again, though, so I'm thinking it was fake.
Well, here is something interesting in regards to electrical lightning strikes, which is electrical. As far as I know, and I could definitely be wrong, I've heard a lot of people discuss that the wind, atmosphere, and these different things that are going up into the clouds will cause a charge up, sort of like a capacitor, very, very similar to a capacitor, and then it'll work as one part of a Gaussian plate. Then it will discharge down to the earth. And some farmers have come out to their fields after that happened, and they'll find a whole bunch of cows that are dead. Some of them have burned internal organs, and like, oh, they're dead, they're internal organs. Yeah, it's because those cows were sleeping while they're standing up, and then they took one step, changed their difference of potential, and boom, the cow is dead. People were trying to blame it on aliens and things like that, but that is ridiculous. It's not even worth trying to use as a... I wouldn't, if I was a judge, I'd be like, dismissed. Get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about?
Well, I saw that the FBI is in, it went up to the Supreme Court, apparently, to figure out whether or not they can be held accountable for raiding the wrong person's house. Well, somebody needs to be held accountable. I mean...
Yeah, but if you hold them accountable, Zach, that's going to scare off all the other people. They're going to come in, and they're going to expect to be held responsible too. And how can you effectively enforce laws if you're going to expect to be held accountable for every little thing you do?
Well, you read the address on the house.
Whoa.
Double check and make sure that you're at the right fucking house when you go to raid somebody's home with guns and flashbang grenades and all this other shit. Yeah, you kind of want to double check.
I've got important things to do. When my bright police lights are shining on the mailbox and the numbers reflect back into my eyes, I can't be asked to read what those numbers are. I'm just going in the fucking house.
I got my gear on. I'm ready to go. I ain't got time to read no frickin' addresses. Yeah, no, somebody needs to be held accountable. I mean, come on. This is the FBI. This isn't Barney Fife working for the city doing something, you know. This is the FBI. They should be able to get the right house, in my opinion. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, somebody needs to be held accountable. That's just ridiculous. That's crazy. I mean, if they did that to me, I'd be dead. I guarantee it. I'd have my 9mm in my hand. Yep. I hear a big loud bang at the door. That's the first thing I'm putting my hand on.
The fact that these people weren't dead boggles my mind. This was a black family in a very nice neighborhood with a closet full of guns, and that is where the police found them when they got there, in the closet, trying to decide if they should grab a gun and go towards the threat, which would have pretty much instantly killed them. No matter what. Wrong house, doesn't matter, boom, you're fucking dead. Lawfully armed to protect yourself, doesn't matter, boom, you're fucking dead. It doesn't matter it still boggles my mind that they were able to survive that raid. We're at the break. I'll be damned. So we're going to take it. Don't you guys go anywhere. We shall be back.
Hi, this is Alan. I like IRONWORX because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworks with Josh, Walt, and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cozy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworks with Josh, Walt, and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworks.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. ironrealmmedia is the best on the plane. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to The Ironworks with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworks and become an Iron Scout.
And welcome back to the second half of the first half of the Ironworks right here on YouTube and Rumble. Check out Iron Realm Media.
Indeed.
Did you guys do that? What's going on? Oh, no, you go, Walter.
No, go ahead. Mine is very inconsequential.
I was just going to say, did you guys hear about what's going on in Albuquerque with the DWIs and the police officers that were taking cash?
Well, there's lots of wrong left turns there. That's all I really know about it.
But they're taking cash and allowing people with drunk driving incidents to just not go to court, and their paperwork just disappears.
Interesting. No, I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah, it's been going on for a couple years now, and they finally got caught. The FBI is looking into it. They're deeming all these former police officers uncredible to testify in court even.
Oh, Brady listed them all.
So yeah, heads look like they're going to be rolling in Albuquerque. They're always having issues with corruption out there, man.
Between Albuquerque and Arizona, New Mexico and Arizona, it gets to be a little silly out there.
It does.
Shout out to
Still
James
kind of
Freeman.
the Wild West almost.
Yeah, James Freeman is on the road right now. Headed northern Arizona, I think. There was a person who goes by the name of People, who was recording a traffic stop. And some lieutenant didn't appreciate him being there and told him that if he didn't stay back and if he said anything else, he was going to arrest him for obstruction. And this guy says, well, I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. And for that, he was arrested. Now, he tried telling them.
That's the lieutenant did that?
Yep.
Wow.
Last week. So the lieutenant, they asked him what his name was. He told them, I go by People. That wasn't good enough. They wanted his legal name, to which he was unwilling to respond.
He doesn't have to, though, right?
Well, I don't think there's a law that says you have to have a legal name. But it might be wrong.
And you definitely don't have to just give it to the cops because they willy-nilly want to have it.
Well, they're trying to book him into the police station.
But is it a legal arrest? Well, once you're in the police station, I mean, if you're under arrest, you're already beyond the point of, just give them your name, man.
Well,
I mean, really.
What says you got to have it?
Then once you're arrested, even if you're illegally arrested or whatever.
What if you don't have one?
If you don't have a name, I guess.
Well, and so who decides whether or not you're going to have a name? Who decides what you get called? Like, exclusively, pretty much, my son calls me Dad. Nobody else. But when I deal with him, that's what he calls me. That's what I go by, Dad. Is that my name? In that situation, when dealing with that person, yes. When it's my wife, it's usually babe. More often than not, that's how we refer to each other. Does that mean I let everybody call me babe? No. But in that situation, dealing with that person, that's what I go by. But they've been holding people for a week now, unable to book him in because he won't give him a name beyond people. And they still won't let him go. Shouldn't have arrested him. Yeah, no reason.
That's the crazy part. He never should have even been arrested.
For speaking, for saying, I can say whatever the fuck I want. The lieutenant arrested him. He said, if you say one more fucking thing, I'll arrest you. And that's what he said. I'll say whatever the fuck I want. Lieutenant says, all right, put your hands behind your back. And that was a week ago. And in protest, he's just not eating. You're going to unlawfully arrest me and demand I give you a name? You don't get a name, and I'm not going to eat. We'll see.
So hypothetically,
go ahead.
In that same circumstance, let's just say that someone was Amish, born and raised. I don't think they have social security numbers. They might. I highly doubt it, though. But let's just say a cop were to, arrest one of the Amish, and then they go to jail, and he's basically just saying, I refuse to answer any of your questions because I don't have a social security number, and my name will not come up in your database.
Wouldn't work.
Well, I mean, they're pretty obvious.
Well, that's the thing. It's not your social security number, but to get into the depths of the legalities of it, they don't even usually ask that for identifying. Like, again, you can't legally use a social security number as an identifying document.
No, it says it right on it. Social security card. Not to be used for identification purposes.
But even when the cop pulls you over, he's not going to say
that a lot lately, though. Cops asking for social security numbers. And the people
real ID shit coming down the pike. I mean, I'm pretty sure you need to have a social security number to get a real ID. I don't fucking understand it.
They've been working on that for like at least 6 years.
And it's pretty well here now. I've been avoiding it for 6 fucking years. I've been bitching about it for 6 fucking years. Like, oh, well, what we just really need is some sort of national federal registry of people. So just bring your social security card and your birth certificate, and you'll get the real ID. Well, what the fuck is a social security card and a birth certificate if not a goddamn national registry? If I'm already registered twice with the nation, why the fuck should I register a third time?
The only people that are exempt from this, because I was trying to get like a half day off work or the entire day off of work when I was working at the VA. And I asked my supervisor, actually our chief of engineering, said, hey, can I go down to the DMV and get registered for this real ID thing? He's like, no, you have a federal ID. You don't need that. It's basically as good as a passport. I'm like, oh, okay. So it has to be like a verified with a smart chip in it and all that kind of stuff.
That's what they want. They couldn't get the old, we're going to RFID everybody's arm. So this is the next best thing. We'll just have them carry around their RFID chip with them.
Well, this is just not the next best thing. It's just the next thing. Ultimately, it'll be in the arm or the forehead or your thumb, wherever they want to put it. But rather than just jumping right there, they're going to do this in incremental stages. They're going to slowly turn up the heat on the boiling frogs.
Are they going to force people like me to stop carrying my EMF? Because once I put that card in there, they're not going to be able to track it.
You disappear. Yeah, that whole...
You'll pop up when you use it.
That's when I was banned from Facebook. Not banned, but just shadow banned. Back in 2011. When I was reading through the NDAA Act and started sharing screenshots of that stuff. And I was getting like 0 responses, 0 replies or anything. I was like, what the fuck's going on? So I go over to my buddy's house. I was like, hey, pull up your Facebook and check out my page. And none of the stuff I was posting was even on my page. Like, even if you went to go look for it, you couldn't find it. And I was like, well, screw Facebook. I'm done with this.
Okay, so on this same topic, sort of, it's going to get a little explicit and very controversial, but
nice.
I'm a chess player, okay? And a lot of people that play games, whether it be, it doesn't really matter. Chess is a very difficult game to cheat at in person. Currently, Magnus Carlsen is the world record holder for the highest rated chess rating of all time.
3275?
What's that?
3275?
Over the board, he's around 2850 to 2900. Online, he's much higher.
Yeah, I just saw him in some guy played him in a tournament, didn't know it was him. They weren't telling you who you were playing against. And it turned out to be Magnus Carlsen, and his number was 3275 on the thing. This guy was like a 2800.
That cable company and tell them, you have got to do your fucking maintenance at a different time. This is interfering with my business.
I'm green now. Nothing disconnected. OBS was still streaming. Usually it shuts off, and now I'm going back down.
Shuts it all down. Yeah.
And now I'm going back down.
Shuts it all down. Yeah.
I'm still trying. I'm still trying.
Yeah, like I said, I saw it jump up into the green there for just a second.
Still trying.
Yeah, like I said, I saw it jump up into the green there for just a second. But that might have been it. I'm down at 0.
Fucking internets. The U.S. has found its oldest rock at 3.6 billion years old.
Yeah, I saw that go by.
But Canadians won't be impressed. Why? Oh, it doesn't touch their record holder. They have an older rock than we do.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. These people are so retarded.
I think it's back up on YouTube.
It's not. Not really. It's just not off of YouTube. Like, we're there. We're not really doing anything. Except buffering. Cutting in and out, probably.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah,
but
definitely, yeah.
I'm heading out pretty soon, and I was going to tickle Walter a little bit as he doesn't like with the information. Maybe I should have. Maybe I still will.
You're doing it now, big boy.
I know. Whoa!
This guy did a round the world walk. Walk an unbroken path around the world. I don't believe you can do that.
Yeah, the only way I think you could... No, you can't.
No, there's
Even
water. Yeah.
Well, the Bering Ice Straits. That's the only way you can go from Alaska to Russia. And then aside from that, yeah, there's these things called oceans.
He's on his final year on the road. 27 years he's been walking. 13 years spent actively walking, and the remainder consumed by bureaucratic challenges.
Right.
Visa restrictions, financial difficulties, pandemics. So he started in South America, the tip, in 1998. He walked up the coast, up through North America, across the Bering Strait, and he's over in England, near England. Says he's in. Well, you can walk to England now, right? There's a tunnel going from France to England.
Would you want to?
Yeah, I don't know if you can actually walk that tunnel. I don't know if it's just cars only or whatever, but yeah, this guy's taking a trike. He's definitely walked.
Yeah, I've never heard of an underground tunnel. Sorry, under oceanic tunnel that goes from any part of the United States or Canada, Nova Scotia. That's a long distance. Like Marconi did that in the early 1900s, but he did it with like gigahertz radio frequencies.
Dancing the Mamba, I heard.
Oh, looks like Regina just said, sounds good now.
Nope, it's going to go out.
Cool. Oh.
Like, I'll let you know when we're up, but I'm still red. Like, I'm lucky if I'm getting 1,500 kilobytes per second.
Man, I had some Arrested Development news for everybody, too. Damn it.
And I was just picturing David Carradine walking around looking for his half-brother.
Can you walk, Liz, from England to France? Can you use the no public walking path within the Channel Tunnel? Okay. So no. I don't know how this guy claimed to do it. Maybe he got the ability to walk it for some reason. People, refugees have walked it to try to get into the UK.
Well, one of the most extreme types of situations to actually, when it comes to construction, and I guess I'll have to wait until after the break to bring up the whole Wi-Fi thing in regards to cheating in chess. You're not going to believe when I tell you, but it's a real thing. I'll even show you the news article. But when it comes to construction...
The guy with the anal beads? Was it that
Oh,
guy?
my goodness. You spoiled it.
I heard about that one.
I live in St. Louis. I heard about this a while ago.
I'm a competitive chess player. I was just bringing it up only because I know about it. Like Morse code in your rectum? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, even
With
it's
dots and dashes.
Philadelphia.
Series of short vibrations and long vibrations.
It's always...
If anybody ever wants to play me in chess, I will play you. In person or online, I don't really care. I don't cheat, so you know. But when it comes to other people...
But you don't mind if I wear mine, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Ooh, knight to G7. Ooh, Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things that has been talking about. And he said that when you go into these chess tournaments that are highly... It's like walking into the airport. So they metal detect you, and now they're even looking inside people's ears to see if they can find deep embedded types of invisible, like, earbuds.
Well, people cheat. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Old baseball player said that back in the day.
What I don't get is, what is the concept of the cheating here? It's not like you're holding a hand of cards or you're...
Money.
Well, no, somebody
I get
else.
why they're cheating, but how's the cheating work? Because, I'm sitting there thinking about well, what are you watching?
Well, somebody else is watching them play, and then they have their computer telling them what the best... And then that person will
I got you.
signal to them, hey, move this one here.
Okay. That makes a little sense, I guess.
Yeah, those computers are amazing. But it's funny because, like Magnus, like when they're playing online chess, there's a little bar on the left-hand side, white and black. And if black has an advantage, the black bar gets bigger. If white has an advantage, it goes the other way. And Magnus will be, like, in the disadvantage, but then turn around and, like, blow the computer's mind. And all of a sudden, he'll be in the advantage now because he made a move. Yeah, his brain just works differently. Even like the Grandmaster chess players. I don't know. Is 2700 considered a Grandmaster, Andrew?
Super Grandmaster.
But that was on like an online chess thing where Magnus was a 3275. So it'd probably be more like a 22 or 24 or something like that.
22 to 24 is usually considered master to international master, or even sometimes a CM, which is a collegiate master, based on the tournaments that they've entered and that kind of thing. So online ratings are they're worthless.
Yeah, that's what I figured. And I know you've heard of this guy's name. It's like something chess is his YouTube handle. And he's really well known. Jaron knew who he was just by hearing his name.
Watch most of them. So I don't know. Yeah, that's...
But he's from the United States. He's a really high-ranking chess player.
Oh, you're talking about Gotham Chess?
Yes, Gotham Chess. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Levy. He played Magnus in a tournament, knowing that it was Magnus.
Oh, he played Magnus a few times. In person and...
he was just saying on this game, because he didn't know it was Magnus, right? And he's sitting there playing, and he's thinking, oh, I can beat this guy most likely, yada, yada, yada. And then Magnus is moving, and he's like, now, why did the person do that? That's this. And then he's sitting there while he's playing the game, like, this person is different. I don't know if this is an actual 2400 here.
No, Magnus Carlsen is the highest rate. If Bobby Fischer were still alive, or if Gary Kasparov or Mikhail Tal were still alive, they would be the people that could probably beat those other people.
Yeah, nothing so sweet as your homegrown. Nothing so sweet as your own homegrown. Oh, nothing so sweet as your homegrown. Nothing so sweet as your own homegrown. So green, so clean, you've been there on the scene ever since it was a little seed, yeah. So green, so clean, you'll be there on the scene even when it's time to reap, yeah. This herb is highly healing. It gives us such an high feeling. This herb is highly healing. It gives us such an high feeling.
Nothing so sweet as your homegrown. Nothing so sweet as your own homegrown. Nothing so sweet as your homegrown. Nothing so sweet as your own homegrown.
So green, so clean, you've been there on the scene ever since it was a little seed, yeah. So green, so clean, you'll be there on the scene even when it's time to reap, yeah. Now some say that it's the Maui Wow, and some say that it's Jamaican call. Some say Amsterdam is the best. Some say you can't test the West, but I say
Nothing so sweet as your homegrown. Nothing so sweet as your own homegrown. Nothing so sweet as your homegrown. Nothing so sweet as your own homegrown.
So free up the herbs, man, free up the earth. Free up the herbs, man, free up the earth. Yo, free up, free up, free up, ja, mami, ja, wanna. Free up all the flora and the fauna. To the anana, yeah. There's nothing so sweet as your homegrown. Nothing so sweet as your own homegrown. Oh, nothing so sweet as your homegrown. Nothing so sweet as your own homegrown. So green, so clean, you've been there on the scene ever since it was a little seed, yeah. So green, so clean, you'll be there on the scene even when it's time to read. so sweet as your homegrown.
It's your birthday today. Willie. It's your birthday today. Willie. Rock, roll, and celebrate. Celebrate, we lose control and you cut the cake. The night is yours. Destiny waits. Oh, wait with so share toast with your closest mates. It's your birthday today. Willie. It's your birthday today. Willie. Grab your goodie bags. Open your gifts. Blow out your candles.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay.
It's called dark.
It's exactly.
It comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your head.